What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason, Joe, and Crams are here. Rolling Stones week, talking about the new record. We've already ranked the 26 studio albums, the US releases, and now it's time for our favorite songs. Crams started the albums video, so he'll kick this one off as well.
Hard to find a band with more really good friggin' tunes than the Stones. They got like 75 contenders for my top 10. And this could change any hour, second, moment, day. I think my top 5 is pretty solid, but 10 through 6 was really hard. But number 10, I'm going with Monkey Man. I love the really kind of just free, almost jazzy, like carefree just style of their jam right here. And the intro with those little piano like taps and everything, just fantastic. It's got such a cool groove to it. Number 9, I'm gonna guess this might sneak into Jason's because we talked a lot about it at the album video. I got Tops from Tattoo You, which came out in the early 80s, but sounds like it's, or was potentially one of the songs they were working on 10 years before. It's got a really cool story behind it when he's talking about like, being able to, make a star out of like a young, hot, girl or whatever talent she's got. And he's, does that great line where he's like, you should leave your small town ways behind. So cool. And it's just got that classic, like Stonesy jam with the really cool, just slippery and sliding guitar part. Number 8, I got Bitch. I think it's one of their best riffs. I think it's really tight. I think it's really hot. And I love the way it just jumps into that chorus. It's awesome. Just that riff alone, so good. Number 7, I've got Moonlight Mile. I think one of their just best pieces of drama. I think it's got that beautiful, warm 70s tone to it. I love when everything comes in and when the drums come in, it just like gets the heartstrings going. One of my favorite Charlie Dunn songs, the way when it goes the just about a moonlight mile, and he kind of just works the tones on all those accent downbeats. So cool. Number 6, speaking of riffs, probably the best riff in their catalog. I got Can't You Hear Me Knockin'. That riff is just on fire. The way the band is playing behind it is so tight. It's got like a little bit of like Latin kind of fusion to it. And then I personally really enjoy the chaotic, jam session that it goes off. It's kind of smoky and cool. Number 5, I've got Lady Jane. It's a really cool piece of romance. Just the way he's talking about being on bended knee. He's so honest and direct with the way he's executing the vocals, and it's just a beautifully written song. Harp scored's amazing, and the way the guitars come in and out, just great. Number 4, She's a Rainbow. One of the most British sounding songs they've done. It just sounds so cool with the way the horns and the piano and everything goes in. The little piano and like string arrangements in the middle are just great. And I love how it comes out of that when he's like, have you seen her dressed in blue? And then drums are just great in it. Number 3, Start Me Up. I think it sounds amazing. It's one of those songs that I put on when I try out new speakers or new headphones. Perfect amount of reverb. You got that big sounding gated snare and just one of the best open G riffs of all time. Great chorus, great claps, though you make a grown man cry. Ultra Stones. Number 2, I got Paint It Black. I love how dark and mysterious it is. I love that pounding, like satanic drum beat behind it. And then just when they do the it's such a cool little chant. It's got such a cool feel to it. But my number 1 is one of my probably 5 or top 10 favorite songs of all time. I'm going with Ruby Tuesday. Woodwinds, the flute, the recorder, whatever it is so enchanting. That really dark cello. It's just absolutely gorgeous. There's a tremendous amount of really characteristic, like in the room sound that just like a little bit of buzz everywhere that gives it kind of a natural feel. It's really whimsical. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's just 3 sections, not messing around. It's just like a piece of poetry come to life. It's awesome.
All right, great list. Yes, there's just way too many songs to choose from, and I'm not confident. My confidence level in my top 10 very low, but I just like I couldn't replace some of these songs because they're too good, too genius level. One new entry though that I did move up a lot here. 100 Years from Goathead Soup. I love the great dark moodiness of it. Funky clavinet from Billy Preston. You got piano from Nicky Hopkins. A lot of like unexpected shifts in mood, which is cool. Mick Taylor's swirling guitar parts, maybe my favorite of his ever. Lots of wah on there. Keith Richards plays bass on this, which is interesting. No Bill Wyman, and I love the outro. It's very funky, Curtis Mayfield style. Number 9, Moonlight Mile. Love the build from that like simple, just lightly plucked, timid acoustic guitar into one of the biggest, most rousing choruses in their whole darn catalog. I love Jagger's lyrics. I think they're simple but so poignant that just another Moonlight Mile down the road. It's another brilliant final track. My favorite of their albums, Sticky Fingers, spoiler. Paul Buckmaster, great string arrangement on there. Jagger actually plays the acoustic guitar on this, and Keith Richards isn't on it at all, which I didn't know until I looked it up on Wikipedia. Number 8, Street Fightin' Man. Just a great muscular riff. Jagger's slightly affected vocals, perfect. Love the bass, pulses and grooves, especially that little run, like after the chorus, the got such great vibrato on it. It's wonderful. Number 7, Wild Horses. It's nice and rootsy, got that hints of country and blues. Love Jagger's vocals on it. The ramshackle backing vocals really fit the whole thing perfectly. It's sloppy, but like intricately crafted at the same time. Number 6, Under My Thumb. Song that basically like invented menace in music. Jagger is so cocksure, so vain and charismatic on it. It's like almost scary. That little marimba is so unsettling. Just the little chunky horn-like guitars. Really cool and really, intrinsic part of what made the Rolling Stones so memorable in their early days. That darkness, always the darkness in there. Speaking of the opposite of darkness, which that's a terrible transition. Number 5, I got Honky Tonk Women. Maybe their best feel-good song. I've had a lot of kind of dark songs on here. We'll go something more fun and upbeat. Honky Tonk Women, the cowbell, the female backing vocals, the honky tonk country vibe. Genius lyrics like Blew My Nose, Then She Blew My Mind, which is perfect. Number 4, Sympathy for the Devil. Love it. Love the evilness of it. It's got this great bacchanalian, hedonistic feel. Those bongos and that samba rhythm. It's perfect for a song narrated by the devil, which I don't think there's a lot of songs narrated by the lead singer playing the devil that works. Like they really pull it off. Like Jagger, like it's almost too close. I'm just saying he really pulls off being the devil. The lyrics are genius, and it's just hypnotic and evil in a very beguiling way, just like the devil. Number 3, Can't You Hear Me Knockin'? Maybe their finest riff, their finest groove. That chorus, the second time through, and they're singing "Help Me, Babe, I Ain't No Stranger," and the band like shifts into this groove. Piano and drums change up, and it's just incredible. It's like one of the greatest moments in the history of music. I don't love the extended outro, the jazziness, kind of softer. I really wish it went back into that chorus one more time, but it's still my third favorite Rolling Stones song, so it's got to be pretty good. Number 2, Paint It Black. If you don't think Charlie Watts was a drumming genius, listen to this, and it will change your mind because it is an absolute tour de force. The drumming is just incredible. It fits the song so well. It's kind of amazing. The sitar accompaniment is great. Those chunky guitar parts. And Jagger just killing it on vocals again, just rising up from the darkest depths of his soul with some killer vocals. Number 1, though, Gimme Shelter. Instantly recognizable, those whispery guitars that turn into this hurricane of power. The nail in the coffin for the 60s and the summer of love. And it's just dark and apocalyptic. And Mary Clayton's vocals are just amazing. The perfect counterpoint to Jagger, that gospel fury in there. And probably Keith Richards' master work on guitar. Just love what he does here. It's a perfect song. It's in my top 5 or 10 of all time. So yeah, it's gonna be number 1 here for the Rolling Stones.
All right. My top 10 now. Number 10, Play with Fire. Love this era. Even though the albums from this era didn't make it too high on my list, some of the singles are just fantastic. I especially love the kind of acoustic stuff that they were doing around this time. This track features Phil Spector on bass, Jack Nietzsche on harpsichord. Really beautiful, really haunting. Number 9, I've got As Tears Go By, a song written by Jagger and Richards. Marianne Faithfull, though, had the first hit with it. The Stones recorded it after her. Her version is great, too, with Jimmy Page on guitar. But on this one, Jagger's vocals are great, as is the string arrangement. Number 8, I've got Let It Bleed. Love the vocals. Just a real performance for Mick. His boozy, kind of slurred delivery is just fantastic here. Really makes the song. Keith singing some great vocal harmonies as well on this one. Number 7, I've got Loving Cup. Love those fills when Charlie enters on the chorus and how it interacts with the rhythm of the vocals. Great dynamics. Every time the chorus comes in, it just hits so hard. And the line, I am nitty gritty and my shirt's all torn, but I would love to spill the beans with you till dawn, is just fantastic. Number 6, I've got Live With Me. Phenomenal groovy rock song, great bass line, sick sax solo in there. Shocked that this one's not one of their radio staples. I think it could have easily been, and stands right alongside some of their best hits. Number 5, I've got Beast of Burden. Rhythm section on this is just out of control. Amazing relaxed groove, great bass line. Bill Wyman's kind of going back and forth between two variations on the same line. It's really interesting how he does that. And all the guitar stuff, too, is so in the pocket. Just one of the best feeling grooves of all time, I think. Number 4, I've got 2000 Man. One of my first favorite songs ever as a little kid, but I was into the Kiss version, which is really, really good, actually. Ace singing that one. And I don't know, the Stones version, too, is just so odd musically and lyrically, just completely out of character for them. It's a really oddly constructed song. It's not like your typical verse, chorus, verse thing. Just really cool. Number 3, a song that we discussed a good bit in the album video. I've got Shattered. The punk influence of the late 70s in here is just so cool to me. So different for the Stones. It feels very experimental, what they're doing here. It's almost like proto-Strokes in a way. And the reason I love it so much, I think, is Mick's rhythmic feel here. The way he's like delaying and like holding back on words, it seems like it should be wrong. And the way it works is incredible to me. Number 2, I've got She's a Rainbow. It's a great slice of Baroque psychedelic pop perfection. The arrangement's just phenomenal. Strings by John Paul Jones. Just great stuff. And my number 1 is Do, Heartbreaker. One of the most badass songs ever. The clav on it, the wah, the horns, the backing vocals, just so much sonic goodness just slathered on there, and it all works, and none of it gets in the way of anything else. Just the way it's put together so perfectly. Love it.
That was one weird list. That is the ultimate Jason top 10, I think.
Let's do some bonus rapid fire of Jason naming Rolling Stones hits that he does not like. Go.
Paint It Black. Can't always get what you want. There's a bunch. I don't know.
Keep going. I mean, those are terrible decisions, but
Name a Stone song. I'll say yay or nay.
Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Nay. That's the other big one that I really don't like.
I do think it's a little basic. Like, if I'm being honest, I probably like Doom and Gloom more than Jumpin' Jack Flash. I think Doom and Gloom's pretty freaking awesome. If Doom and Gloom came out in 1968, people would be like, this is the most badass song I've ever heard in my life. Come on.
Satisfaction's overrated too.
Yeah.
It's not that I think a lot of these are bad songs. I just think they're way overrated. They got cooler stuff buried a little deeper. And a lot of the stuff, like if I go further on my list down to like top 25, like there's more hits. Like I'm not shying away from all hits and going all deep cuts, but like I said in the other video, it's like 50-50 with their hits. Some of them I think are phenomenal and some I think are just eh. Anyways, let me know what I got wrong. I know people are mad at me, but drop your own top 10 down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. More Stones content on the way, so make sure you're following us. We'll see you in the next one.